Have you ever encountered someone who seems to shift between two completely different personalities, someone whose mood, thoughts, and actions can change in the blink of an eye? If so, you might have met a Gemini. The Gemini personality is one of the most fascinating, complex, and unpredictable in the zodiac. Known for their social charm, quick wit, and versatile nature, Geminis can be the life of the party one moment and introspective thinkers the next. But what happens when you hurt a Gemini? Despite their light-hearted and engaging exterior, Geminis have a depth that's often hidden behind their charm. Beneath their playful demeanor lies an emotional intelligence and resilience that make them far more powerful than many give them credit for. In this video, we'll explore 12 reasons why you should never hurt a Gemini. From their quick communication skills to their sharp intellect, and their ability to adapt to any situation, Geminis are not to be underestimated. Let's dive in and explore why crossing a Gemini can be more dangerous than you might think. 1. They are masters of communication. Geminis are ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, and this gives them an unparalleled ability to connect with others through words. They are known for their clever wit, charming conversation style, and quick-thinking minds. Whether it's striking up a conversation with a stranger or engaging in deep intellectual debates, Geminis thrive in social settings. Their communication skills are sharp, allowing them to articulate their thoughts and ideas with ease. But what makes them truly dangerous when they're hurt is how they wield their words. Geminis know exactly how to use language as a tool to disarm, persuade, and sometimes even cut deep. If you hurt a Gemini, don't be surprised if they use their verbal prowess to turn the situation around, calling you out on your actions with precision and clarity. They might not always raise their voice, but their words will hit hard, and once they've made their point, it'll be hard to argue with them. Gemini's ability to articulate their feelings, especially when they're hurt, makes them a force to be reckoned with in any confrontation. 2. They have a dual nature. Geminis are symbolized by the twins, representing their dual nature, and this duality is at the heart of who they are. They can easily switch between different personalities, adapting to their environment and the people they are interacting with. One moment they may be the life of the party, full of energy and excitement, the next, they might be quiet and introspective, lost in their own thoughts. This adaptability makes them incredibly intriguing, but it also means that when they're hurt, you may not know how to handle them. Geminis can show you one side of themselves, lively, engaging, and fun, but when wounded, their other side can emerge, more reserved, detached, and calculating. They may suddenly withdraw, becoming emotionally distant and hard to read. This shifting nature can make it difficult to understand what a Gemini is truly feeling when they are hurt. They might not react immediately, but once they do, their reaction can be unpredictable and powerful. So, if you cross a Gemini, be prepared for an emotional roller coaster. What you see may not be what you get. 3. They are extremely intellectual. Geminis are deeply intellectual and are driven by a desire to understand the world around them. Their minds are constantly working, analyzing situations, and seeking new knowledge. This makes them incredibly perceptive and insightful, able to read people and situations with an accuracy that can be unnerving. They thrive on intellectual conversations and mental challenges, which is why they can often appear distant or detached when others are only interested in superficial topics. When a Gemini is hurt, they may not show their emotions outwardly, but their intellect kicks in. They will dissect the situation, analyzing every detail to understand what went wrong. This intellectual approach allows them to distance themselves from the emotional impact of the situation, at least on the surface. However, this analytical mind can also become a weapon when they feel betrayed. Instead of reacting emotionally, they may calmly assess the damage, strategizing their next move to ensure they never feel vulnerable in that way again. Their intellect gives them the ability to navigate any situation with precision, and when it's used in defense of their own emotional well-being, it can be an incredibly powerful force. 4. They are adaptable. One of the standout qualities of a Gemini is their adaptability. Geminis are incredibly flexible, able to thrive in a variety of environments and situations. Whether it's social settings, professional environments, or personal relationships, Geminis know how to adjust and fit in seamlessly. This adaptability makes them chameleons of the zodiac, capable of changing their behavior and approach to suit the moment. However, when they are hurt, this adaptability can work both for and against them. While they can adjust to tough situations, they may also withdraw emotionally and create distance between themselves and those who have wronged them. They may put on a brave face, interacting with others as if nothing is wrong, all while keeping their true emotions hidden beneath the surface. Their ability to adapt can make them seem unaffected, when in reality, they may be silently processing the hurt, figuring out the best way to respond, or, in some cases, to retreat. So, if you hurt a Gemini, don't be fooled by their seemingly easygoing nature. They may adapt to the situation, but they won't forget the pain, and the emotional toll might take longer to surface. 5. They can be extremely charming. Geminis are naturally charming, and this charm is one of the reasons they are so captivating to those around them. They have an innate ability to engage others with their humor, wit, and quick thinking. Whether it's through their captivating conversations, infectious energy, or infectious laughter, Geminis easily win people over with their charm. This makes them the center of attention in any room, drawing people to them with ease. However, this charm can turn into a double-edged sword when they feel betrayed. If you hurt a Gemini, you might find that their charm turns into something more manipulative. They know how to use their social skills to disarm and confuse you, making you question the motives behind their behavior. They may engage with you, offering words that seem sincere, but it's all part of their ability to keep you off balance while they decide what to do next. A Gemini's charm is powerful, but it's also a defense mechanism. If you've wronged them, they might use their ability to charm you to keep their emotional cards close to the chest, leaving you unsure of where you stand with them. 6. They can be emotionally detached. Geminis are often known for their intellectual prowess, but they can also be emotionally detached, especially when they feel hurt or threatened. While they may be quick to analyze a situation, their emotional responses can seem distant or even cold. This emotional detachment is often a way for them to protect themselves when they feel vulnerable. Instead of showing their feelings, they may retreat into their minds, processing the situation logically rather than emotionally. When a Gemini is hurt, their first instinct is to detach from the situation rather than confront it head-on. This makes them hard to read, as they may not express their hurt outwardly. You may notice them becoming quieter, more withdrawn, or even acting indifferent, but in reality, they are processing the hurt internally. This detachment can make it difficult for others to understand the depth of their feelings, and it might leave you wondering whether they even care. But make no mistake, when a Gemini detaches emotionally, it's often a sign of deep hurt that they are not ready to share. They'll protect their feelings by keeping their emotional distance, and the effects of this emotional withdrawal can last longer than you might expect. 7. They don't easily trust. Geminis have a tendency to be cautious when it comes to trusting others. Their intellectual nature makes them highly observant, always analyzing and scrutinizing the people around them. They don't easily let people into their inner world, and trust is something they don't give freely. It takes time for a Gemini to fully open up to someone and to believe that they can rely on them without hesitation. This wariness makes them more selective about who they let in and why they choose to keep their guard up. When you hurt a Gemini, you are not just breaking their trust in that moment, you are reinforcing their natural skepticism. Once trust is broken, it can be incredibly hard for a Gemini to rebuild that bond. They will likely take longer to trust you again, if at all. They may start to doubt your motives or question your sincerity, even if they initially appear to forgive you. A Gemini's ability to trust is earned, and once you've hurt them, you've made it even harder for them to open up to you again. This lack of trust can create emotional distance that's difficult to bridge, leaving the relationship in a fragile state. 8. They have a quick temper. While Geminis are often seen as easygoing and intellectually driven, they also have a quick temper, especially when they feel misunderstood or disrespected. Their emotions, though sometimes hidden behind their calm demeanor, can flare up unexpectedly when pushed too far. Geminis are known for their sharp wit and quick reactions, and when they are hurt, their temper can ignite in a way that might surprise you. When a Gemini's temper flares, it's not always about loud outbursts or dramatic confrontations. Instead, their anger can manifest in cutting words, biting sarcasm, or a cold, icy demeanor that cuts to the core. They might not always explode emotionally, but when they do, it's powerful and intense. If you hurt a Gemini, be prepared for a reaction that could be swift and direct, leaving you feeling caught off guard. Their sharpness and quickness in reacting to emotional stress make them unpredictable, and when their temper takes over, it's a side of them you might not want to experience. 9. They have a hard time forgiving. Forgiving can be one of the toughest things for a Gemini to do, especially when their trust has been broken. While they may outwardly appear like they can let things slide or brush things off, deep down, they carry emotional scars that are not so easily healed. Geminis have a unique emotional complexity, one that allows them to compartmentalize their feelings and seemingly move on from minor issues, but they have a hard time completely letting go of deep emotional wounds. When a Gemini is hurt, they often replay the incident over and over in their mind, analyzing what went wrong and how it could have been avoided. This intellectualizing process makes it difficult for them to forgive, as they feel compelled to understand every aspect of the situation. For them, forgiveness isn't just about letting go of resentment, it's about making sense of the hurt. If they don't get the closure they need, forgiveness becomes nearly impossible. You might think they've moved on, but their emotional mind is still processing what happened, and they will carry that hurt with them until they fully understand it. So, if you hurt a Gemini, don't expect them to forgive you right away. In fact, their inability to forgive could change how they view the entire relationship going forward. 10. They can be unpredictable. Geminis are often seen as spontaneous and full of surprises. This unpredictability stems from their dual nature, where they can switch between moods and actions with little to no warning. One moment, they might be deeply engaged in a conversation or activity, and the next, they might seem distant or even cold. This unpredictability can be exciting, but it can also be frustrating, especially for those trying to understand what makes a Gemini tick. When they're hurt, this unpredictability becomes even more intense. Instead of responding to situations in a way that's consistent with their usual behavior, a Gemini might surprise you with a sudden emotional shift. They may lash out in anger one minute and then go quiet the next, leaving you wondering where it all went wrong. This ability to change rapidly, especially in emotional situations, makes them difficult to deal with when they're hurt. You might never know what to expect from a Gemini when their feelings are on the line, and this unpredictability makes them even more powerful in how they choose to react to a situation. They won't always show their pain the way others might, and their responses will keep you on your toes. 11. They are masters of emotional control. Geminis have a remarkable ability to maintain emotional control, even when they are experiencing intense feelings. They are incredibly intellectual, and their ability to process emotions through their analytical minds often means they can keep their emotions in check, hiding their true feelings behind a calm and collected exterior. This ability to control their emotions is one of their greatest strengths. It allows them to navigate difficult situations with a level head. However, this emotional control can also be dangerous when they're hurt. A Gemini may not express their anger or sadness immediately. Instead, they will carefully suppress their feelings, choosing not to confront the situation head-on. While this might seem like emotional maturity, it can actually create a more complicated dynamic. The more they suppress their emotions, the more likely they are to feel overwhelmed at some point. When they finally do express their hurt, it may be sudden and intense, catching everyone off guard. For those around them, this emotional control can be hard to handle, as you might not even realize the depth of their pain until it's too late. 12. They will walk away if you hurt them. Geminis are incredibly independent, and if they feel that they've been hurt too deeply or disrespected, their instinct is often to walk away. Unlike other signs that may confront the issue head-on, Geminis are more likely to disengage and leave the situation behind. When they feel emotionally wounded, they prefer to retreat and protect themselves from further hurt. For a Gemini, walking away is not just about physical distance, it's an emotional and mental escape from the source of their pain. When a Gemini decides to walk away, it's often a sign that they've reached their emotional limit. They won't stick around to endure more pain or betrayal. If you hurt a Gemini and they decide to cut ties, don't expect them to come back easily. Once a Gemini walks away, it's incredibly difficult to bring them back into your life. Their emotional independence means that they value their own peace and happiness above all else, and if they've been hurt too much, they will simply move on without hesitation. If they feel that the relationship or connection is no longer worth their emotional investment, they will leave it behind, perhaps without looking back. In conclusion, while Geminis are known for their charm, adaptability, and intellectual prowess, they also possess a deep emotional world that deserves respect and care. They may seem easygoing and flexible, but beneath that exterior lies a complex individual who can be deeply hurt by betrayal or disrespect. When you hurt a Gemini, you're not just damaging a relationship, you're challenging their sense of trust, their emotional stability, and their intellectual integrity. Their ability to forgive, their unpredictable nature, and their emotional control make them both fascinating and sometimes dangerous when crossed. Geminis will not hesitate to walk away if they feel their boundaries have been crossed, and once they decide to leave, it's not easy to get them back. Their loyalty is earned, and their love is a gift that should never be taken for granted. So, if you have a Gemini in your life, appreciate their brilliance, respect their space, and never take their trust lightly. Hurting a Gemini is not something you'll easily recover from, and the emotional consequences can leave a lasting impact. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Zodiac insights. Leave a comment below and share your experiences with Geminis. How have they shaped your life? We'd love to hear your stories.